Welcome to this video, Organizational Context Mapping. Why would a security policy that's perfect for a bank be a disaster for a creative agency? Because context is everything. Without understanding your unique environment, your security program is just guesswork. In this video, we'll show why understanding your business context is key to an effective ISMS. Map processes to critical IT assets using a heat map. Use a RACI matrix to clarify accountability. Link risk appetite to ISMS scope and controls. By the end of this video, you'll be able to explain why organizational context shapes ISMS design, create process-to-asset heat maps for critical systems, use RACI matrices to define governance responsibilities, align ISMS scope with organizational risk appetite. Let's dive into the formal process of context capture, a mandatory first step in any ISO 27001 journey to ensure your security program is perfectly tailored to your business reality. A powerful way to prioritize security efforts is to create a visual link between business processes and the technology they rely on. This is often done with a process-to-asset heat map. The first step is to identify your most critical business functions, such as customer order processing, financial reporting, or patient care. Then, you map these processes to the specific IT assets, the servers, databases, and applications that are essential for them to operate. By scoring the criticality of each process based on its business impact, you can create a heat map that immediately highlights which IT assets are the most vital to the organization's success. This data-driven approach ensures that you focus your most robust security controls and monitoring on the technical assets that pose the greatest risk to the business if compromised. Formalizing accountability is a cornerstone of good governance. After identifying your key stakeholders and their requirements, you must define who is responsible for meeting those needs. A RACI matrix, which stands for Responsible, Accountable, Consulted, and Informed, is a simple yet highly effective tool for this. For each key governance process, such as risk assessment or incident response, the RACI chart clarifies roles. The responsible person does the work, the accountable person owns the outcome and has the final say. Consulted individuals provide input, and informed individuals are kept up to date. This formal analysis eliminates confusion, prevents tasks from being dropped, and creates clear lines of authority, ensuring that accountability is embedded throughout the organization. Risk appetite is a fundamental concept in governance, representing the amount and type of risk that an organization is willing to pursue or retain. This is not a technical decision, it is a strategic business decision made by top management as part of the context establishment in a risk management framework like ISO/IEC 27005. The defined risk appetite has a direct and profound influence on the scope of the ISMS. For instance, an organization with a very low risk appetite, such as a financial institution, will likely require a very broad and comprehensive ISMS scope, covering nearly every aspect of its operations with stringent controls. Conversely, a startup with a higher risk appetite might choose a narrower initial scope, focusing only on its most critical systems. Aligning the ISMS scope with the organization's stated risk appetite ensures the security program is fit for purpose and has the full backing of leadership.
Let's use Copilot in Word to build a context canvas mapping the internal and external factors that shape our security strategy. So here I have already prompted Word, create a SWOT analysis table for healthcare tech startup, right? And what we have is just some initial columns for the table, right? And then we are prompting a further populated table for strengths and add patented a diagnostic algorithm, for weaknesses add reliance on a single cloud provider, for opportunities add expansion in the EU market, for threats add new data privacy regulations like EU AI Act, and increasing ransomware attacks on healthcare. Of course, instead of writing it here in the prompts, we would be able to traditionally put it like this. And here we have prompted already Word to create a SWOT analysis table for healthcare tech startup. We have asked Word to populate the table. For strengths, add patented AI diagnostic algorithm. For weaknesses, we have reliance on single cloud provider, opportunities, expansion into EU market, and threats, new data privacy regulations like EU AI Act. And these are just examples that we put. And then the Word has generated this part so that we have more overview and more insights, and maybe that will be useful for us, right? And then if we don't want to edit, as I mentioned last time, when screen sharing this Word with you, I have also said that you can just ask Copilot here. And here, if we, for example, want to draft a paragraph summarizing key internal and external issues to that the information security management system must address, then maybe it would be helpful for us to first research it here, right? And then we have basic on a SWOT analysis for healthcare startup. The ISMS must address several key internal and external issues, internally reliance on single cloud provider, right? And then we can take it from there to ask about some ideas. Or for example, you have even here those actions are like kind of recommended as another prompt, right? So we just click and you have list recommended ISMS actions for these issues, right? And then, for example, reliance on single provider, diversify, or maybe have some, alternative way to address your business continuity. For example, some backup clouds provider that we have some contingency plans and stuff like this. So these are pretty solid, good ideas already here. And if you like anything, you can then go back to editing here in Copilot, right? And then copy one of those here and populate the table again to make sure that you have everything you need here, right? So this exercise demonstrates how a structured context analysis provides the essential why behind your security decisions, making your entire program more strategic and defensible.
Let's do a quick recap of the key learnings covered in this video. In this video, we have learned to explain organizational context importance for ISMS design, create process-to-asset heat maps for critical systems, use RACI matrices to formalize governance accountability, align ISMS scope with organizational risk appetite,